Thank you, angels. It is 1:13 p.m. currently, which is my birthday. A little fun fact about angel numbers is that whenever you see your birthday in the form of time, the angels are telling you you are on your soul's journey. Welcome to the very first ever Q&A. I got some questions from some of you guys this past week, and I'm very excited to go ahead and answer. First question from Coach Steph. What's your goals for YouTube if you have any? This is a perfect first question for my first video that I'm filming. Honestly, I just really want to connect with everyone who's listening to my music, and even if you're not listening to my music, in the past, I found that there have been certain artists who I didn't even like their music, but when I would watch interviews, I really liked who they were as a person. It didn't necessarily make me a fan of their music, but it made me a fan of who they were, and it allowed them to impact me in a positive way. And that's what I'm in general trying to do. You know, I just want to inspire people. If I inspired one person today, then that makes me happy. All right, next question from Mr. Hugo Philippe. I hope I'm saying that right. What's your collaboration process like? Honestly, it has evolved and refined over the years. Recently, I've really just been making music by myself, but to be honest, the circle's always been quite tight when writing my music because I have like such a vision for what I want to do. I have to either really fuck with your sound or we have to be really close for us to collaborate in the birthing of a song. Feature-wise, it's always been chill. If I have a feature for someone, I feel like in this day and age, a lot of it is just sending stuff back and forth through emails. One main producer that I have worked heavily with, his name is Zach Jurich. He's worked with Kanye, he's worked with Teyana Taylor, he's worked with a ton of people. We go way back to like college days where we started making music together. So that's the mastermind behind a lot of my songs that you hear. Like Sayonara, me and Zach will get together, he'll like kind of make the beat idea, I'll write to it. Honestly, a lot of times I'll even go home and write to it. I just really like writing by myself. Maybe because I'm kind of shy. I really thrive when I'm in a controlled environment. In my room, I've got my bong, everything's set up, nothing's rushed or pressured. I'm definitely not one of those people who just like freestyle over the beat and that's the song. I take time to rhyme, pick out like words, try things differently. I have started making my own beats. I never say this, but I'm super proud of myself. For a while, making beats was my one thing a day, and I feel good knowing that I can rely solely on myself to be creative. Jazz and I actually made a song during lockdown, just sending shit back and forth. When you're that connected with someone, it's like y'all can be on the same vibration even if you're not physically there. It's some next level shit. She started a beat, she sent it to me, I made the drums and I laid a verse and she sent it back, but we made a whole song. Mr. James JK01 wants to know, when you make a song, what part do you like to start with? I know it can vary. I tend to start with the hook. Honestly, I cannot recount any recent times when a song has started with a verse. It usually starts with a beat. I'll kind of be browsing beats. I'll just like go through, get a vibe, see how I'm feeling. These days, it really always goes off of how I'm feeling. I know some people like to be logical, but I've recently awakened to my powers, and that is all in my feeling, guys. I'm such a sensitive and emotional person. That might seem very shocking to some of you guys because I don't show it a lot. But I do be in my room crying sometimes. I've realized that it's my superpower and that when I go off of feeling and my intuition, that is God talking through me, I always have the best result. So when I make a song, that's how I roll. If I already have an idea in my head, then I'll start making the beat. Usually even if I have an idea, it's an idea of the hook. Sometimes I'll just have like hook ideas I really want to write. It'll just come to me like the whole rhyme scheme scheme and stuff, things usually marinate with me, and then I sleep on things. When I wake up, it's like the pieces of the puzzle are more there. And then I don't really know how to describe it, but I kind of just like fill it out from there. The hook comes and then I'll record it. As you guys can see, my mic is right next to me. I never really like to redo vocals because usually when it comes to me and when I got it, like I'll practice it a few times to make sure I get in the pocket. But I really love using first take vocals, and that means first like multiple takes because I still comp the shit out of my vocals. Everything is like super stitched in there. I know how to catfish, guys. I put on my makeup today. I even put on my nails for this, guys. I know my ways. James JK01 also wants to know, also, do you ever get writer's block? I go off of feeling so much now that if I don't feel that I need to be writing, I don't. When nothing's coming to me, I don't force it, and therefore I don't get blocked. I flow to the next thing. Next question from Logan. How do you cope with stress? You just gotta be kind to yourself, guys. Our feelings are always our body's system's way of telling us when something isn't going right, or if something is maybe off course, or if you're simply overworked. It's kind of just a sign communicating to us that something else needs our attention. Probably that something has nothing to do with your work. So usually when I start feeling myself getting stressed out, is take a bath, meditate, sit with yourself, feel where in your body things feel bad. Sometimes stress comes out in physical symptoms. Nowadays, I'm really in tune with myself, so when I'm stressed out, I usually know right away what the issue is. So I'll kind of chill on that and just breathe, meditate, taking a bath with bath salts. When you're in there, the salts just kind of soak away the literal stress and toxins in your body. And while you're in there, take some time and take some deep breaths, think to yourself, allow the universe to communicate through life what it is that needs changing. Usually when I do all those things, I become less stressed out. Literally breathing and oxygen regulates our system. Like, that's a scientific fact. So meditation is a scientific thing. All right, next question from Hero21316. What is the best thing happening for you in 2020? The best thing, without a doubt, that has happened to me is my awakening. That really means an awakening on so many levels. Just not being controlled by society's every whim. Awakening to the powers within myself. That meant getting rid of my belief that my feelings were to be ignored and to be pushed aside. No, those are all my gifts telling me things. I think that will be like a whole video on tools, things you can do to help yourself wake up to the power within each and every one of us. Next up from Maria Z. Hey girl. What are your top 3 qualities every bad bitch needs to have? Number 1 is fearlessness. It doesn't mean that fear itself does not exist. It simply means that we acknowledge it and we say, yo, I see you, but you know what? I'm bigger than that. I got more and I can do this despite the fear. I think that's real courage. Second quality every bad bitch needs to have is being genuine to herself, himself, themself, oneself. I think in order for each and every one of us to shine, we need to be truthful to ourselves first and foremost, because that's the most important relationship you can ever have in your life. The third one is the quality of non-judgment. And that is simply because we are all bad bitches in our own unique way. Every single one of us. In order to really help the bad bitch community, we need to support each other, support other bad bitches. Everyone is going through something different. Speaking of bad bitches, East Coast Blazed wants to know, when did you start writing music? It has been a long time. My first ever song that I ever wrote was when I was 16. It was the summer of junior year going into senior year. I still remember the song name. It's called called One Day Love. I can't believe I'm telling you guys. Basically, met this guy on vacation that summer and got to know him for one day. Really connected, wrote the song, and never saw him again. It was One Day Love, was exactly what it is. Now I'm starting to think that was the purpose of me meeting that guy. Was the universe's way of telling me to start writing songs. And then I kept writing songs. Wrote a lot of bad songs along the way, not gonna lie. Alright, next question from Ginger Balls. What drives you to keep creating during the tough times? For me, creating is simply a form of self-expression, even like self-care. It's just like creating feels so good to me that I think in terms of motivation, I don't really need one. It usually feels very good to create unless I'm creating for an alternative purpose when I'm not true to myself. I think the material or what I'm inspired by during those times is usually what's going on within myself, without myself. And for example, recently I've been writing a lot about stuff that's more spiritual based, stuff that's more inner. Next question from Extraordinary. What are your favorite things to do in terms of self-care? There's a few things I like to do for self-care. I definitely love to soak in a nice hot bath, as I've already mentioned before. Taking a hot bath with Epsom salt and lavender oil is... if that's not the ultimate form of self-care, I don't know what is. One time I had a headache and my intuition for some reason was like, take a hot bath. Like I had taken Tylenol, I had drinking a lot of liquid. Fam, as soon as I put my feet in the water, I felt this warmth come across me. My headache was instantly lifted. Another thing I like to do is listen to myself and my body and whatever it's telling me. So if it's telling me to have a burger, I'm gonna go have a burger. Yeah, honestly, eating is a big thing. Basically, the second thing is eating. Basically, just do whatever I want to do. Like if I've been really itching to watch a show, if I've been, really itching to eat the cake, it all goes back to eating. Stuff that I'm just like dying to do. You know, I'm like, okay, I gotta do it. I think that also comes from me being, in general, kind of a restrictive person, which is something I'm working on. Another thing I like to do is read a book. I love diving into a really good fiction book when I want to feel good, just feel relaxed. A good fiction book is literally just like a hot cup of chocolate. Right now I'm currently reading Dune by Frank Herbert, which is honestly becoming one of my favorite books. Another thing I like to do is meditate / do nothing. Just be. Sit, lay down, breathe. Re-immerse yourself back into the flow of life. In general, I feel like self-care looks very different for everyone. So I would advise everyone to make a list of things that make you happy when you're actionably doing them. All right, that ties into the last question of our Q&A. From Kylie Bazooface, how do you love yourself? Listen up. You are totally worthy of love. A, spending a lot of time with yourself and also acknowledging that whatever version of yourself you're at, you are always deserving of love, especially from yourself. Step 1, sit with yourself and acknowledge, accept everything about who you are currently, all the things you don't necessarily like, all the things you do like, and just be like, yeah, that's who I am. Fucking own it and love it. Love yourself for where you're at right now. But also remember that who you are right now is not necessarily who you have to be forever. In fact, we can reinvent ourselves whenever we want. And I think when you truly sit with yourself, you also discover what it is that is trying to shine, who it is that you really want to be and embody. When you start working towards that, as you love yourself, you will fall in love with yourself even more. And it's going to become a very amazing problem in your life. Acknowledge that all these different facets, they're all who we are. And on your way to becoming your best self, you gotta love the person you are right now. And on that beautiful note, I think it is time to wrap up our first ever Q&A. I will catch you in the next episode.